So I'll start with my professional career history. I passed out in 2006 and I had joined an EV integration firm in Mumbai. So sound engineering was my passion. So I wanted to get into audio engineering and you know wanted to get into a firm like Bose Corporation. So this first job of mine was step towards my dream job. So I worked with the small company for 6 months. That job gave me confidence to get into Bose Corporation. So Bose Corporation was my second job, and I was part of their design team. So my core responsibilities in Bose Corporation were to design sound system solutions for projects like auditoriums, schools, classrooms, stadiums, and it involved a thorough application uh, in physics and electronics domain. So I was basically working as a design engineer. So my role was to design acoustic solutions and sound solutions for these complex projects like auditoriums and stadiums. Just to give you a small example, the auditorium which you've got in your current campus. So uh, projects like these requires a lot of planning, a lot of study in terms of acoustical analysis and what kind of sound system that should go in that environment, depending on the capacity of the auditorium and application and all that. So basically, in India, we call it as a audio video integration industry. This is a very huge industry in India, and it has got sub industries within this industry. And this sound engineering, we call it as a pro audio industry, is one of the sub industries of audio video integration industry in India. So now this audio video integration industry revolves around this latest technologies like video conferencing, your audio conferencing, home automation, then your virtual meeting rooms and all that. So out of all these applications, the sound engineering is one specialized domain which comes under this industry, and it's an industry within itself. So we call it as a pro audio industry. So sound engineering, there are multiple sectors in sound engineering. One of these is this pro audio industry, and the other ones are this live sound industry and the sound recording. So out of these three industries, we are going to talk about pro audio industry because this is, this industry is like our any other corporate industry and IT industries. So there are potential job opportunities in pro audio industry because a lot of companies, a lot of transducer manufacturing companies, amplifier manufacturing companies like Bose, Sennheiser, QSC, they have direct presence in India, and all these offices and all their infrastructure in India is managed by their counterparts in US and Europe. That's why this is a very mature industry, and you can look up to this industry. You can Google it, and all these companies, they do provide good job opportunities. It's just that sound engineering in India is considered only restricted to a particular domain, which is like your live sound, DJing, and sound recording. But then there is the other side of the fence as well, where there is always a requirement of engineers like us in these OEMs, in their design department, in their projects department, and even in their sales department. So the basic pre-qualification criteria to get into these firms is, of course, a bachelor's degree. So I would strongly recommend, in case if you guys have inclination towards latest technologies, sound, music, you should give it a thought about this industry. So what I realized is, when I got into Bose as a design engineer, the syllabus that we had and the studies that we did during the engineering days, it really helped me pick up things faster, because all these technologies like are, I mean, basic technologies like transducers and the use of amplifiers is actually put to actual use. Your knowledge is put to actual use when you work for companies like this. So since I was a part of a design team, my role was to configure the right solution using the right transducers, using the right amplifiers, and designing the optimum solution for places like, as I said, auditoriums, stadiums, and all that. So, to understand the fundamentals, having the understanding of the fundamentals is very important. As Sir said, amplifier is one of the components that is primarily used in this industry in all the applications, be it your classroom PA, auditorium, stadiums, for the live concerts, the equipment which goes behind concerts like NH7 Weekender and IPL opening ceremonies is this huge rig of amplifiers, and you'll be studying the different classes of amplifier: class A, class B, class AB, class D. Now, why we are discussing this is because what happens is, since we all study the electronics, I mean, these subjects, and then somewhere down the line we think that would we use this in our actual job scenario, because most of us would prefer uh, going in different industries like IT, software, and all that. But in case if we stick to our core industry, trust me, whatever we study now, that gives us a very solid platform and base to excel in this industry. So, to get these concepts right, fundamentals right, is very important at this stage, because later on, I mean, if you get into this AV industry, the basic fundamentals of electronics is gonna help you a lot. So usage of class A, class B, class D amplifiers. So now all these companies are investing in a lot of research and development to make all these amplifiers very efficient, so they consume less and less power. That is the reason these amplifiers have evolved from class A to class B to class AB, where we use full 360 degrees of power cycle in class A, then to improve the efficiency and to reduce the power consumption, then we go to class B, and now the entire industry has adopted the de facto norm, which is class D, because it is efficient, consumes less power. You can design an amplifier with a very small form factor. So, all these things you can really put it to use in real life scenario. When you get into when you take up a opportunity in this industry, I believe all this study that you've made during your engineering days would really help you. Now, let me tell you, this industry always has seen a very huge gap in terms of the kind of engineers they recruit. There's always a gap in terms of demand and supply, because I mean, most of the engineers, most of the institutes, are not aware that there is this potential industry which absorbs a lot of engineers, and they prefer engineers, electronics engineers, to be very specific. So, this could play in our favor if we really, focus on this opportunity and try to, orient yourself to get into a core electronics industry. So the companies like Bose, QSC, Sennheiser, their entire product line, you know, is driven by research development, and they keep coming up with new products, and they expect their employees and engineers to stay updated with the latest trends, technology, and then they should understand the concepts of like fundamental concepts of electronics, and then that is how they would like understand their product well, and then uh, design the right solutions and educate the clients and customers. So this is the you know basic pre-qualification criteria when you want to get into uh, companies like Bose, QSC, Sennheiser. So I was fortunate that I finished my electronics engineering. I honestly wanted to do my sound engineering post my HSC, but then because of the parents' pressure, I got into electronics. I mean, I got into engineering college. But I was fortunate, like then this served as a platform for me, and whatever we studied during this period, whatever support was extended by the professors, I mean small things, I was involved in your cultural fests, and then uh, organizing this whole event requires a lot of coordination and understanding of your production equipment. So the equipments which you need to execute these events is called production equipments, which include sound, light. Nowadays, you have these LED screens. So this is again one more industry that comes under the sound engineering, sector. So I was fortunate enough that I was given a freedom to work on such events and curate our own list of equipments and deploy it. So that is how you build your confidence, and that is when I decided that I wanted to get into this industry. So, in case if you guys have any questions, you can unmute your mic, and we can have a discussion on your probably doubts, or in case if you need any further inputs on like uh, what kind of extra courses you can do after your engineering, which would help you get into this industry.
Sir, sir, I wanted to ask, how do these companies like Bose and Azure, how do they recruit their employees actually?
See, as I told you, unfortunately, like IT industry and all the other software industries, there is no standard process, or there is no HR agency which uh, uh, which has got a certain process, and they have a certain pool of engineer from where they can pick these engineers. So in this case, what you have to do is just just keep an eye on their website and the updates and the kind of openings they have. They always post it on their LinkedIn and on their website. So you have to narrow down on your target, and you can apply it, like you can apply it directly. So their pre-qualification criteria, as I said, is like bachelor's degree. So it makes it easy for us actually to qualify for such jobs. And in case if you want to do a further specialization after completing your bachelor's degree, then there are n number of options like sound engineering certificate courses, sound engineering online courses. Then there is a professional body called Avixa. I'll be sharing all these notes with Limkar sir, and probably he could share it with you over the mail. So it gives you a definite roadmap. So what happens is all these professional bodies, they have their own certification. So you might as well start working on these certifications when you're in your final year. It's basically all fundamental concepts only of sound and light and physics. So these certifications would also help you because it would indicate that your inclination towards this field. So for these companies, it becomes easy to identify the resource based on their passion and inclination.
Rajesh,
You got an answer to my question?
hello.
Hello?
Rajesh,
Yeah, sir.
hmm, can I request
Yeah, sir.
first? First, you have to continue your lecture, and
Correct.
last we will take the question answer. I think that is better.
No problem.
Uh, First, you have to give whatever you have, and at last, actually, these are the second year students.
Correct.
Once you deliver everything, then question comes their mind.
No problem.
So first you explain everything, then
Yeah,
definitely they can ask the question. Okay, thank
correct. Thank you. So now, as I said, regarding our syllabus and the kind of subjects that we study, amplifiers is just a small, portion, uh, a small topic out of the syllabus that we study that is put to real use when you get into, this industry. The other technologies that heavily use the other topics is like your programmable controllers, your transducers. Nowadays, all these LED screens, these are all components that are used in our industry regularly. So, you know, your home automation, your video conferencing units, your speaker manufacturing, this involves a lot of electronics, heavy use of filters, your networks. So, I would recommend that you guys focus on these topics and try to understand the fundamentals of electronics very well, which would certainly help you in your future course of career. So now I'll just share my experiences when I was part of Bose design team, how it helped me, derive the right designs. And since I was thorough with my electronics fundamentals, uh, I updated my knowledge in the physics domain, uh, which was required to design all these solutions. So, the understanding of acoustics, which is, of course, a physical domain, and understanding of electronics. So, if you have to design a right solution for an auditorium, there are three components. I'm just giving you a random example. So, in case if we have to design a auditorium for, let's suppose, our Tena engineering campus, the auditorium which we have, uh, there are three fundamental aspects that you have to look at it. One is acoustics, second is electronics, and third is the architectural design. So acoustics plays a major role when you uh, design solutions for such spaces. And then comes your transducer, the selection of the right transducers, which you call it as a speaker in our layman language. Speakers, then the set of amplifiers, then you have crossovers which have got different filters in it, which does your, low pass filtering, high pass filtering, band pass filtering. This all is put to use. So as you know, the entire audio spectrum spans from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. So you cannot design a optimum transducer to reinforce all the frequencies from one speaker. So that's why when you go to a auditorium, you'll see there are set of speakers which are flown from the ceiling, which typically covers or reinforces your frequencies in the mid range, which you call it as a mid band or a vocal frequency range, which spans from 300 hertz to 3.3 kilohertz. Then you have a subwoofer module which augments the lower frequencies, which is like 20 hertz to 100 hertz. It is very difficult to produce these low frequencies because of its huge wavelengths. So that's why you have to design a speaker with a large diaphragm. So usually these are like those very heavy boxes which you see in large concerts, which are placed on the floor near the stage. These are called subwoofers. So these reinforces the the lower audio spectrum of your the entire band, which spans from 20 hertz to 100 hertz. Why I'm telling you all this is because now to drive these two different set of boxes, you need different set of amplifiers with different set of impedance matching and power delivery. To generate this energy in the low frequency band is very difficult because of the wavelengths involved. So in such cases, to drive the subwoofers, you need high energy amplifiers, which are generally class A or class AB amplifiers, which we stick to analog amplifiers. When you move on to this mid-band range, the mid-frequency range, which typically these speakers generate your vocals, here you can use your class D amplifiers because one, they're efficient. Second, you don't need the the high energy in this band to generate the same amount of SPL as you need to generate it in the lower frequency band. So this entire audio spectrum you divide it into three segments: lower octave, mid octave, and higher octave. So the amplifier selection and the designing is done in such a way that based on the speakers, the transducer, you select the amplifiers, and that this is how you generate a BOQ, bill of quantity, that for a particular given auditorium. For an example, if you need 6 speakers on each side, that is left and right, then based on that, you decide how many amplifiers and what type of amplifiers, which configuration would be required to drive these speakers. So the detailing is very important, and that's why it helps. It helps to design these solutions when you have a sound understanding and thorough understanding of all these fundamental concepts. So during my tenure in Bose, I spent a lot of time on designing complex solutions for stadiums, for your airports, where you use heavy electronics, back-end electronics, your digital signal processors, your signal routers, and then your networked devices. Even your amplifiers are networked. So there is a heavy integration of electronics and even your networking. When you talk about these crucial sites like airports, hospitals, where the PA system is crucial for the evacuation and for the safety norms. So these are few examples where all these amplifiers and this technology is put to use in real life scenario. Apart from this, then of course, I did my further studies in sound engineering. I did my certificate course from Rochester University, which further helped me, strengthen my knowledge. And of course, then I got trainings from Bose Professional Division on acoustics, on simulation products, simulation softwares, where you can predict the performance of your electronics in a given space. For an example, if there is an auditorium which is still at a blueprint level and you want to evaluate the cost of the system that would be required for this huge auditorium. So if you have blueprints ready of this project, you can always create a 3D model of this auditorium. And there is a software which is called Bose Modeler, which allows you to simulate these results under given scenarios, and considering the different acoustic treatments that we planned for this space. and the kind of speakers and amplifiers that we are planning, you can always specify these inputs in this software, and it gives you a prediction of what is the target sound pressure level that you can achieve, and what would be the sound pressure level from your first row to the last row, so that you achieve a uniform sound distribution from across the auditorium floor. Because that is the criteria in a standard auditorium, that you have to A, achieve a uniform sound distribution, B, there has to be a specific sound pressure level across the given floor. So these are the some applications where you'll be using your this study in actual applications. Limkar sir?
Yes. Hello.
You want me to add more practical scenarios?
You can explain practical scenario. That is better.
Okay.
Uh,
So I'll, now that we're, going through this phase of COVID, all the companies have switched to, this virtual conferencing, video conferencing, audio conferencing. So here also, the technology plays a very important role. Now that we are using, Google Meet, Zoom, and other conferencing applications in corporate world, uh, this application is little bit refined, and they use advanced video conferencing applications where they use set of certain hardware which is called video conferencing units, and set of uh, audio conferencing devices also, because in this case it is unidirectional communication, because I am doing most of the talking, and you guys are at a receiving end. But in crucial meetings like board meetings and all that, where you have 15 people, 20 people interacting with their remote office location, where at the remote end also there are 20 people. So in such scenarios, what we do is we use individual microphones for each participant. So in case, let's suppose there's a boardroom where you have 24 board members present, so we configure a solution in a such a way that every participant gets their dedicated microphone, so that the audio is captured through that microphone, goes to your digital mixer, where all these audio feeds are mixed in digital domain, and this audio is then transmitted over internet to the far end. Similarly, the far end audio is also converted through the microphones which are used in the remote location, and then transported over internet, and then you use your digital signal processors to do your digital to analog decoding, and vice versa, analog to digital encoding. And this decoded signal, the analog signal, is then fed to the amplifiers, and from amplifiers to the speakers. That's how you can listen to the participants or board members who are discussing at the remote end. So this is how this technology can be put to use in real life scenario. The use of the speakers, the transducers, the amplifiers, which involves the chain of microphones, digital mixers, then your amplifier, then your speaker. So these are all fundamental electronic components, and without thorough understanding of how each component behaves, it would be very difficult for a design engineer to select the right components for a given application. Hence, it becomes very instrumental and important to study all these aspects of electronic components, right from your digital mixers to filters to your different type of amplifiers, different type of transducers. So this is how it is put to use in real life application. Any questions, sir, till now?
Rajesh,
Yeah, sir.
you can tell the your company work.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever the you did, some
Correct.
of the main project you can explain.
So till now,
So
I was
they will get a clear cut idea.
sure, sir.
Uh-huh.
So till now, we were discussing about these principal companies, OEMs like Bose, QSC, Harman. So these companies have got their direct presence in India. So they operate with a small team of their sales engineers, design engineers, and technical support team. To execute their projects in India and the Asia Pacific region, they appoint their network of distributors and dealers, where they do the front ending of the project, you know, deploying the equipments on site, configuring it, tuning it. So I was part of Bose design team from 2007 till 2011. So 2000 end of 2011, I decided to found my own company, uh, which is called Audio Technique, and we were first project partners for Bose Corporation in India. And our company used to do all the front ending, do the site visit, uh, collect the drawings from the architects and from the client, and work on the solutions that is required for these auditoriums and stadiums. So we had a team of sound. We still have a team of sound engineers who work on the designs, and do the installation on the site of the speakers, amplifiers, and commissioning and tuning. So Audio Technique primarily in India, we execute specialized audio projects. When I mean audio projects, wherever uh, in any infrastructure project, uh, wherever the audio plays a significant role, all such projects, our company front ends it. When I say any major infrastructure project where audio plays a instrumental role, means projects like auditoriums, stadiums, airports, your classrooms where speech reinforcement is very crucial, your restaurants, clubs, lounge bars where like sound plays a very crucial role. So our company is into designing and installation of solutions, sound solutions for such spaces. So we've been working with Bose Corporation India since 2011, and we've done around 200 odd projects pan India. We've got offices in Bombay, Pune, Goa, Delhi. We have a team of around 22 engineers. This is like one of the largest teams in this industry, in this specific sector of pro audio. And the projects, some of the prestigious projects that we've executed recently is uh, uh, projects like India's first domestic cruise liner, which is called Angria Cruise. So we did their entire public address system, the sound system for their onboard discotheque, for their restaurants, clubs. So the entire sound system and acoustics were designed by Audio Technique, and so projects like this, Angria Cruises, and then we recently did installation of sound system for auditorium in Nasik, which is called Kalidas Kala Mandir. Then we work on Delhi International Airport PA system maintenance, where the deployment was done by Bose, and now our team takes care of the maintenance project. Then we are We worked on projects like Kalyani International School, Lexicon International School, DY Patil College, their auditoriums, of course. We designed and deployed the sound system for all these institutes. Then recently we commissioned three large stadiums for national games in Goa. So the entire sound system was done by us. The stadiums are this stadiums in Navelim, Goa, Ponda, and then Pernem. These are the three new stadiums that Goa government has built. So we did the installation for these three projects. Apart from this, we do work with a lot of places of worship. Like Shirdi, we did sound system installation for their main fire area. So Chinmaya Mission is one of our clients. So we did installation for their temples in Powai, in Pune. Apart from this, we were involved in this huge temple project which is coming up in the outskirts of Hyderabad called Yadgiri Gutta, which is built on similar lines of Balaji Temple. So we were involved in sound system designing of this project as well. Apart from this, we work on a lot of five-star properties where they need background music system and sound system for their clubs. So we are involved in projects like JW Marriott, Hilton, uh, Sheraton. So these are some of the projects that we worked over the period of last 4-5 years. So our company in India is official projects partner for Bose Corporation. That means we are authorized to execute projects and use Bose equipments, on projects across India. And this has given us a very solid platform to scale our operations in different parts of the country and work on very prestigious projects. Hello?
हॅलो
Yeah, sir.
हा कोणाला काय क्वेश्चन विचारायचे असतील तर विचार. If anybody asks any questions, any doubt, how to enter in the sound engineering, what are the
See,
various courses of the sound engineering, you can ask.
See, I'm sure you all got a certain understanding about this sector, sound engineering. Most of you must be relating it to the sound recording industry or your live sound industry, where you see all these equipments deployed in the concerts. So DJs operating these systems, but then there is other side to the fence also, where is this corporate industry called ProAudio industry. And the insights of this industry, I would be sharing it with Limker sir, that the OEMs, the brands which are present in India, and the opportunities that these brands present to engineers. So all these statistics and data, I'll be sharing it with Limker sir, so it becomes easy for you to go through this literature and statistics. And in case if you have inclination towards music sound, then it becomes easy for you to channelize your energy passion into the right direction and start working at a very early stage to achieve your goals and to secure your career path. Instead of choosing alternative career path, you can always stick to your core and explore this opportunity and build your career on this opportunity.
Sir, can you give us some details about colleges regarding the sound engineering after our graduations?
Yeah, so there are 3 colleges in India: School of Engineering Audio, SEM. Most of these colleges are in South. There is one college. These are not colleges; these are institutes and academies. and the most recognized one in West region is True School of Music, TSM. So they have this sound engineering module which is backed by companies like Harman Audio. So Harman is a very big name in this industry, and they provide campus placement for the students who take up this course in the True School of Music.
So how many years course is this?
This is a 1 year course.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So, does this company offer internships for students of second or third year?
Uh, they do offer internships, but into your final year or after that, because these are all full-time assignments. So most of these companies post your graduation, they do offer internship for like 3 months and 6 months. Most of it is for 3 months, so you can explore these opportunities once you're like once you complete your a bachelor's degree, because it's a full-time assignment, so it becomes difficult for you to allot time during your studies.
Thank you, sir.
I can provide you the list of companies that offer these internship. I'll mail it across to Limker sir, and you can get in touch with their HR department and find out the opportunities that they have.
Anybody have any doubt, any question?
I can share our company website so that you get a fair understanding of what exactly we do and what are we talking about. I can share it on the screen. Are you guys able to see it? Limkar
Yes,
sir?
sir.
Yes.
So these are the kind of projects that we've done. So these are the different sectors in which we, worked. So right from your airports to auditorium, clubhouses, restaurants, multipurpose hall, house of worship, fitness clubs, stadiums, theaters, townships, wherever there is a requirement for audio video infrastructure, so we've delivered the solution. So these are the some recent projects that I was talking about. So we design and deploy sound system solutions for huge spaces like this. So this is the conference room, boardroom application that I was talking to you about. So every individual will have his own dedicated microphone, because all these meetings are recorded as well. So when we talk about sound system designing for an auditorium, so these are the speakers which we were talking about. These are called line array systems. This is the latest technology that is now used in auditoriums to make sure that we achieve uniform dispersion from first row to the last row. So we use these modules which are designed in a such a way that each module can cover a specific area of the auditorium so that you achieve uniform sound pressure level across the audience levels. And so then to power these modules you need different set of amplifiers. Then you have a set of subwoofers which are kept on floor, which are like heavy, as I said, like those 18-inch 21-inch transducer, 18-inch 21-inch diaphragm transducers. So the sound engineering involves the study of your you know behavior of sound in a given space. That means like acoustics, and then the sound reinforcement, which comes under your electronics domain. So the sound engineering involves study of science of sound in both the domains, physical as well as electronics. So these are different clients that we've catered to. So we've recently done a sound system installation for a new bird park that has come up within this SL World campus. So we've deployed weather resistant speakers in their landscape to complement their bird park theme. So different sectors which requires all these infrastructures is, of course, the auditorium, hospitality, cinema, home theater, concert halls, corporate facilities, government facilities. So all these programs that the governments are running under the Digital India scheme or Smart Cities scheme, so they need a lot of infrastructure support for their facilities. So audio video industry is one of the elements of this infrastructure industry, where all the government facilities like your uh, uh, disaster control rooms, your hospitals, so they need a lot of AV interventions like digital signage, PA systems, video conferencings. So there's a huge opportunity in the government sector as well. So this is where all the brands are focusing nowadays.
Sir,
Yeah,
can you tell us like what is the difference between actually Bose and Dolby
see, Bose
in the
is
work?
a product manufacturing company where they manufacture speakers, correct? And Dolby is basically a algorithm where it is used to encode different audio streams. Dolby is a format where all your audio recordings for the films, those are standardized. All this multi-track recordings like 5.1, 7.1, these are recorded in Dolby format. There are only two formats where these recordings for the cinema audio is done. One is Dolby and the other one is the DTS. So Dolby is basically your format provider. So they do manufacture their own decoders also. So basically, it's a format where multi-channel audio is encoded in different configurations like 5.1, 7.1, 7.2.2. Nowadays, you have Dolby Atmos. So Dolby Atmos, where you have speakers configured, above your head as well to give you that spatial effect and to give you more immersive surround.
So do they recruit sound engineers?
Yeah, they do recruit sound engineers. They have an office in Bombay. They have an office in Bombay.
But they do manufacturing as well, no, sir?
Yeah, they
Speakers and
manufacture their decoders. They manufacture their DSPs,
thank
digital
you, sir.
signal processor, which goes in your cinema theaters. So this is a very crucial component which they manufacture because all their encoding and algorithm is decoded by their hardware only. So these formats is supported by their hardware. So all these PBRs and your
I know.
Inox, they'll have their this is their standard component.
So in every theaters they install the Dolby speakers only. That's what they're saying.
See, most of the theaters, these are not Dolby speakers. These are Dolby enabled theaters where they install their backend. Their core competency is into multi-format recording and decoding. So they have their set of hardware. So all these and the configuration of the speaker layout is done as per Dolby standards. So that's why you see a lot of branding done saying that this is Dolby Atmos theater or Dolby enabled theater. So speakers you can use any other brand as well, like QSC, Bose, Harman. But when you say it is a Dolby enabled cinema hall, that means they're using their Dolby cinema processor, and the speaker configuration, the design is done as per Dolby standards, Dolby International standards.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any question? Anybody have any doubt, any question? Okay.
Yeah, sir, you want to add anything to this session?
Generally, if you tell the different courses, those are interested in sound engineering.
Correct.
What are the certified courses are there?
Correct.
So you have to explain it, or you are going to share with me.
Yeah, I'll share the list of institutes and academies, that run these courses. Some of them are certified courses. Some of them are like just you know certificate courses. So I'll share the details of these academies with you over the mail.
Okay. So here I am going to share one important thing to with all the students, and you are the good example for that. So whatever the your interest, so you have to do your career in your interesting field. So this Rajesh always interested in sound than the electronics engineering. So he is present only in the college campus only during the resonance time, I think. Where sound system is required, there is only Rajesh is seen. Very less I am seeing in a classroom. When we asked him, so at that time he frankly saying, "Sir, I am not interested in engineering, but parent, due to interest of parent, I have taken the admission, so I have to do something in the sound only." So at that time, resonance, our Mate sir was the resonance head. So whatever the problem related with public address system, when arrange the public address system, so only one name comes in his mind, and that is the Rajesh Patil. And he is doing all the things. So teacher not bother anything about the mic, sound system, whatever may be there. Only we are telling him, Rajesh, we are going to arrange this program. So for this, whatever the requirement about the sound, speaker, mic, you have to see. And he choose his career in sound engineering. And today we feel proud on his industry, whatever he is doing. So that's very proud feel. So I'm telling all of you. So whatever first, degree is very important. Degree is very important. So first you have to complete your degree. Then you have to work in your interesting field. Okay.
Correct.
If anybody have any doubt, they can ask to Rajesh. Otherwise, we will want the meeting.
Thank you for your kind words, sir. In case any of you, uh, wants to explore this industry further, or if you wish to discuss this with me one on one, I'll share my details with Limco, sir.
नहीं
Uh,
इधर भी शेयर किया तो चलेगा योर फोन नंबर मेल आईडी
Done, sir. I'll do that. So once this COVID scenario is over, we can arrange a field tour for interested students. We can get them to our studio as well, and we can take them to few of our sites around our campus. So to give them a hands-on idea of and the demonstration of these equipments, if it's possible.
हेलो सर.
Hello. Yes.
यस सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपको कब पता चला कि मुझे साउंड इंजीनियरिंग में अपना करियर बनाना है?
When I was in 8th standard, when I got my first CD player.
ओके.
But then, this was my the interest I developed because of my liking towards, or you could say passion towards music. That's how I developed this interest, and then I realized that I could convert this into a professional, career. So this I realized that when I completed my HSC, then I studied about different sound engineering courses that are available in India, abroad. So I wanted to move to Australia to complete my sound engineering post HSC. But as sir said, due to my parents' pressure, I got into engineering. But then eventually I feel it turned out to be, you know, it turned out in my favor because it gave me an opening in this, industry. And back then I didn't know that the pre-qualification criteria for this was bachelor's degree. So even if I would have done my sound engineering, I wouldn't have been able to get into uh, uh, you know this industry and be associated with such big brand. So as sir said, it is very important to complete your bachelor's degree first, because it gives you then opportunity to select your industry. So I've shared my number and email ID on the chat section.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So can we wound the meeting? So thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your kind words and this
Uh,
opportunity to interact with.
if the student interact with you,
Yeah, yeah.
then you will guide to them,
Sure,
and
sir.
definitely we will visit once in your company.
Sure, sir.
Uh, those are interested,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely when they come to the Pune, so definitely those are interested, they will visit, and myself definitely visit your company.
Sure, sir.
Okay, so thank you.
All the insights over the email,
Uh,
whatever we've discussed, so that this would come in handy for all the students.
okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your kind words again, sir.
Uh, thank you, sir. Okay, can we leave?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank है।